Hey everyone, it's Mr. Hollywood, and today I will be ranking the Mission Impossible movies. So yes, the first time I talked about these movies, and I'm doing this because Mission Impossible 7 is coming out next year, and it is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. It might even be number one. We'll see in January, but And Tom Cruise is also one of my favorite actors. So I thought today was a perfect time to rank the Mission Impossible movies. Now, before I give you my ranking, feel free to share your ranking down below in the comments. And let's begin. In 6th place is Mission Impossible 2. A movie that actually does have some decent moments, but some of the writing in this wasn't great, and our villain was completely horrible. Now, I think one of the reasons this movie wasn't so great is because it was filmed around the same time as the first X-Men, and Dougray Scott, the actor who played the villain, was originally going to play Wolverine, which, thank God he didn't, because Hugh Jackman is so much better, for sure. This movie did get delayed a lot, so that probably was one of the main reasons why this movie wasn't so good. So yeah, coming in at number 5 is Mission Impossible 1. The movie that started this franchise actually has some decent moments, because towards the end, the scene where Ethan Hunt was trying to get into something, trying to be a little sneaky, that was actually pretty cool. And it actually does a pretty good job at developing our characters. The villain twist kind of crushes me a bit, because I feel like there was not enough build up. Coming in at number 4 is Mission Impossible 3. And to be fair, there is a pretty large gap between Mission Impossible 1 and Mission Impossible 3. And Mission Impossible 3 finally had a good villain, played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, who, honestly, he might be the best villain in the franchise. However, it kind of got a little annoying with the villain, someone who we thought was a potential villain. It kind of was not great, and the way the villain died was pretty anticlimactic. But still, there's some really good action in this, and some pretty suspenseful stuff. This movie really saved the franchise. Coming in at number 3 is Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. And there is also a pretty large gap between Mission Impossible 3 and Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Now, this movie kind of feels like the middle chapter of the trilogy, honestly, because I feel like the last 3 Mission Impossible movies kind of feel like a trilogy in some way, and a really good trilogy. And this kind of feels like the middle chapter problem, where it does some setup and continuation. But along with that, they introduce Ilsa, played by Rebecca Ferguson, and she was a really good character. And it also gave us a pretty good villain. And it has some really good action, like always, and Tom Cruise completely crushes it in the role. Coming in at number 2, and this is a tough one because my top 2 are pretty much tied. But coming in at number 2 is Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. And it might have the best scene in all of Mission Impossible, honestly, with Tom Cruise climbing that building. And a lot of the spy elements towards the end was actually really well done. And, there was actually not too much wrong. It just, I feel like this number 1 entry stood out a little more. Coming in at number 1 is Mission Impossible Fallout. I mean, this film was freaking awesome. And it is one of the reasons I'm really excited for Mission Impossible 7 and 8. And, the villain in this, was a really good villain, which is in some ways a little surprising considering, obviously, the stuff with Henry Cavill, because this was filmed around the same time as Justice League and the mustache stuff. I mean, it was pretty funny. But yeah, anyway, he was a pretty good villain, and it was actually in some ways a little unpredictable, because like, he's a character that, like, yeah, early on you don't really trust him that much, but I didn't really think that he was going to be a villain. And obviously the final battle, I mean, as much as I want to say it's anticlimactic, it really isn't, because, you have the action, you have it, and, like, the hell, and, them crashing into a mountain, and, like, a bomb going off. That was pretty brutal. And, also, but the scene that really stood out was Tom Cruise jumping out of a helicopter. I mean, or Ethan Hunt. But, like, Tom Cruise is one of the craziest stunt mans in Hollywood. And, like, I still don't know how he does this at 60 years old. Also, like, because I've grown up to Tom Cruise, after seeing movies like Top Gun and, other, Collateral was also a pretty big example. But yeah, Mission Impossible Fallout does come in at number 1. So, on New Year's Eve, or New Year's Day, I am really, curious to see where I'm going to put Mission Impossible 7, because I do know it's going to be pretty high. But before then, I obviously have other rankings, so yeah. But anyway, thanks for watching, and peace out.